Hello retro coders, ZX Spectrum fans, Mikie fans, just arcade gamers in general. We're enjoying the Rubicon intro theme, that's new to me, I love it. Gonna let it play out, it's nearly done. Oh, shame how it ends, but can't get everything for free. Hello again, Micro Man. Thanks for saying hi. What have you installed? I haven't done anything to my code because I went down the shop, but I was a little bit late and I had to go to a further away one. So I pretty much just got back in. But I've got an idea of what I'm going to do. Have you installed some Spectrum coding stuff then? I meant to ask you as well how much experience you actually have in C64 coding. Oh yeah, Visual Studio and Git. Have you done have you got Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio? Or both? Because I'm using Visual Studio Code, it's so nice for the Z80 stuff. I've got Visual Studio, but I haven't ever tried to use that for this. I think maybe it's a bit overblown for what I'm doing here. Code, awesome, awesome. Have you got Pasmo installed? P-A-S-M-O, this word here. If you get Pasmo installed, and if you want to use this PowerShell, you have to add it to your environment path, in your environment variable path. And then once you do that, you can use that command from anywhere. I'm sure you know how to do all that already. Or you've at least heard of it. But yeah, then you'll definitely be able to compile my code if you manage to match it up. Well, you can get it off Git. In fact, I'll push it to GitHub right now. Even though it's not quite working yet, but it works good enough. Brilliant. When you've got Pasmo installed, the next thing you want to do is check get the same extension as me, and then it'll be all the same colours. It's up to you, of course, but then you can follow along with me much easier. You forked it earlier, brilliant. I was hoping someone would fork it. I've never had that happen before. I've had a couple of GitHubs where I made Unity projects, but they never got any interest whatsoever. They were quite good projects as well. Some of them were full Android games and actually released on the store, but never got much attention. There's a lot of competition out there for that. Yeah. In the end, they got taken down from the Android store because I started like infringing a lot of copyright. I mean, I wasn't doing anything that anyone else wasn't doing, but I guess it just totted up. And then they looked at how bad my projects were. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, even GTA and stuff. I was like, they done me for drug references in a game, but I was like, have you ever played GTA? Like, that's on your store. Like, you know, it only had it was one screen. It wasn't even animated or anything. It had like a gangster pointing a gun at you, and it was an over 18 game. It said like, give me your money. Do you ever remember the game that was available on calculator called Drug Wars? It was based on that. So it was like just still images, and then you had your UI where you had all your money with your different drugs values and that. But occasionally you'd take a flight and there'd be some gangster trying to kill you or something. You know, I added a few things to it. Yeah, it was fun times though. I expected to get. I think the final nail in my coffin was I made a version of Space Invaders, which was actually better than any version on the App Store. But I used the exact same sprites, but at the time there was not any 3D, and I lifted it. All I did was I was quite a novice in Maya, but I learned how you could import a sprite and then just chunk it out. So I did that, and then I added bones for animation. And it was like the first animated stuff I ever done in Maya, but it looked really good for some reason, you know. Hiya, Moz. I've heard of that SpecNet. I thought it was something to do with the internet, like on the Spectrum. Awesome. There's something magical about just writing in VS Code like this, though, isn't there? Awesome, awesome. What I'm going to do this time around in this session is not get too hung up on printing numbers to the screen. I'm going to come up with that at a later date. Look at my old projects where I did it. I do have a feeling it's because we've filled up the buffer completely. Like, we've drawn our screen and then it's doing something because of that, I think. I guess we could have probably left like a line at the top of the screen empty for writing to. But instead I'm just going to use our existing heart sprite, which is actually like the ink color is relevant because our UI already has ink of black paper and pink ink, and it's going to look pretty cool with hearts. So it's just thinking about the best way of doing that. As I say, I went out for a bit longer than I expected, so I've only been thinking about this like while I drive, not really at a computer screen. But I'm thinking I'll just have one constant to tell me where the first heart will be drawn in the UI, and then I'll just have one more constant for how wide the cell is, and then I'll just do five, rows of 5. At the moment there's only 5 anyway, so that'll do for now. Then I'll have to come up with some way of knowing to shift down a line when we've done 5. So the hard bit of this code that I found hard to visualize was, how are we going to know? What are we exactly going to write in lines to say, oh, okay, how many hearts have we collected? Therefore, we draw that many. And where was I going to put it? Oh, I'm going to remake that UI file that I deleted. That was a stupid delete. It was a very bad idea deleting that. Uncomment that. While I've actually potentially got your attention here, guys, I start off with a little tune every time now, and I enjoy that because I actually enjoy seeking out the tune, and I like a little bit of game music. But is it annoying? Because I could just start up and say hello. But the way I see it, at least gives you a couple of minutes to maybe notice that I'm live, so you don't miss the very beginning. I know it must be annoying if you're actually there waiting, and I happen to go live, and then you're waiting. But I mean, I start it and then I go off and sort out whatever I'm going to sort out, like a drink and stuff like that. But as I say, I could easily just go and do that before I start streaming instead. So if it bothers you either way, give me feedback, and if not, I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing. That same can be said for anything. I'm thick-skinned. I can take feedback. Nice one, was. But yeah, I appreciate all feedback, good and bad. Obviously, I don't want someone just being like rude and name calling and things like that. That'd be stupid. I've never had to ban anyone. Hopefully, never have to. We're a civilized community here in the ZX Spectrum world. I don't even know how to ban someone from the chat, to be honest. You watch, the trolls will probably hear that out, like smell it out. They'll be here soon. I welcome them. Hopefully. You're Canada, is that right? Vancouver? I notice the way I'm saying out sometimes when I'm streaming does sound a bit Canadian. It just seems to happen. It's a nice way to say it. It's like oot. Can't even do it. Like if I try and do it, but yeah, exactly, Moz. I mean, eventually, hopefully, I'll get big enough where people will notice, and the trolls are only going to bother if there's like, at least 20 views. They're not going to come to a small channel, I don't think. just troll a person directly. It's a bit personal, isn't it, when you do that? But like I say, I welcome any trolls because it's just another viewer at the end of the day, unless they abuse other viewers or annoy them in any way. Right, let's get started. So my UI, I'll just put my constants in here. Heart. Let's think ahead and put row 0. Start. Now I could just put the memory address, but no. Let's do an X and a Y. I think 25 would be a nice place for it to start. How many? Oh, I've just remembered. I might have to make a smaller heart then, because my heart's 16 wide. That's going to be no good. Okay, so I'll have to draw another heart. That's a shame. That one's no good. Just start a new one, it's easier, isn't it? This could be tricky, maybe. I'm sure they managed it on the Nintendo. Guess that. So the red part will be black on our UI, and this will be pink. Doesn't look that much like a heart though, does it? How can I make that look better? Not sure if I can. It's going to have to do for now. Oh, yeah, there we go. Delete that. That's been annoying me for a little while now. Okay. Getting the hang of them smooth transitions. I have to move Streamlabs about. That's the only annoying thing. It's only 8 wide. Do you mean the heart? What, the one that was in the picture in the first place, do you mean? Yeah, I could have probably just shifted it. If I knew the art program better, I was going to do that. It's only a placeholder, isn't it? It's a piece of art, you know, it's just a piece of graphic. We can change that in and out very easily. We've already got heart.asm. Maybe just to be tidy, I'll put like heart icon. And I know that when I say icon, I'm talking about UI items. Oh, it's not even worth having that comment, but I will anyway. I'll do for now. So obviously their offset is 1, and therefore I'm not even going to bother having a constant for it. So in other words, we just need an X and a Y. It should work, putting just 1, that should be lovely. Oh, hang on, that's only 1 pixel. It's about 8 then. So I guess, yeah, in here, just draw hearts. Oh, hang on, that's going to be confusing. UI, draw hearts. For some reason, I just don't like having. I try and avoid having 2 underscores. I don't know why. I need to maybe get out of that habit. Do we have a draw sprite 88? I've got a feeling I already made that. Maybe it was 16.8. No. Copy it. Just make one. So that's just remarkably simple. I just need to remove all the most of it. Let's just delete it all nearly. So we just need 8 of them. We've already got one. Probably won't even bother changing the comment. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't even need that bit. 7. No, let's just delete them. So now I can draw just 8 by 8. Oh god, yeah. Well, what about find and replace is even better almost than copy paste. Find and replace. Oh, it's a beauty. It's a dangerous beauty though. Right. So we just want to start here. We want to know how many hearts we've got, which is in the player. That was the bit I was saying was going to be hard. This is basically it now. I guess we have to do that. And then at the moment my pea brain can just think, if it's 1, draw 1. If it's 2, draw 2. No, I can think of a better way already. We'll do it in line and then we'll move it out to a routine probably. In fact, let's just say UI update, return, and in there we'll do UI draw hearts. Now this can just be a loop that we can actually, how many hearts are there going to be? 5. So we can easily just load I don't think you can load it straight into into B, so we have to load A with hearts collected. So I was right with that first line. Then load BA. Now that inbuilt sort of instruction DJNZ, which decreases B and jumps back, should work fine for us. And we just want to jump back until it's 0, return. So that should now just tick down through however many hearts there are. So we want to draw 1 heart first for a start. It wants BC, doesn't it? I bet you. I think, did I comment it? Yeah. BC and DE are going to be used. And also HL. So we want to push BC, pop BC, so that it still keeps that number. Load BC. Aha! Position, we need to come up with something, hang on. Oh no, BC just wants the sprite pointer. What am I talking about? So it's not ideal this, because it's loading the sprite pointer every time. Could have just done it once if we weren't going to use BC for the counter. Where's the heart icon? There. And also the position. I've got a constant, but actually we need a variable. There's so many ways to do everything. Loop heart times, yeah. But really, I could just have an array where I already fix the positions in, just like I do with the desks. And then there either is alive or not, isn't they? Then I wouldn't have to load it every time with the sprite and stuff like that. It would be very easy to draw 1 using this, but I'd have to like grow the offset. So I'd have to set the offset to 0 here, and then every time we get past 1 iteration of the loop, put the offset up by 8, and then loop again and do the same. Only on the X, of course. But I could just use an array of them, couldn't I? It's going to be much better, I think. Yeah, that's okay. So we've got the sprite data in here. That's not really needed, is it? Didn't use them, I don't think. Ooh. I think. This time it's 0. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing right now. So this is disabling it, and then I'll be able to hard code the position in for each heart. Won't even need these. I mean, I could use them actually. I could just do width and height. We don't need, we already know that they're always 8, all of them. So this is a shorter data type, or whatever you want to call it. So that's actually fine. We want 5 of them. Plus 8. I mean, I could have been even cleverer and done like plus offset times 1, offset times 2. Shouldn't be any need. Oh, and of course it's only 1 at a time anyway. Which meant this probably would have worked. I could have just incremented by 1. But this is better. Put that there to signify the end. Don't even have to know how many hearts there are now. Sometimes it's hard to just get started. It's almost like when there's too much to change. There's so many different things. Part of you just wants to give up. Yeah, this will do nicely, I think. It's the same old trick. So we'll put it into IX. Compare 255 and get out. This time, same again. And if we're only going to draw the hearts with this routine, we still don't want to get out if we find a dead heart. I mean, actually, we do on this occasion. As long as we activate them all in order, which we'll have to do, we actually do want to just exit out. Normally, you'd skip to the next heart. But here we do actually know that we're never going to encounter a time where you have to draw one. If there's one missing. So now at this stage we can just load BC, heart icon, some confusing names but they're not too bad. DE, this is an interesting one, I've got to load the position in there. Oh, of course. It's hard coded in. Because of the way I've coded it, I've been doing it like this forever, I'm going to start putting Y's in front of the X's soon. But just load D with IX plus 1. Don't I normally load it into A? I'll soon find out. So it's important to load it with the right data length because we've actually got a different amount now. And just add IXDE and jump back. It's just going to take care of itself. Eventually, it doesn't even need a return, no, it doesn't. Eventually it hits that and returns. So they're all dead. The only thing I need to call is that. And we need to just make them alive when we collect them. So we need some sort of routine for add heart. It should be based on that number, shouldn't it? Hearts collected. But I could just as easily call like add heart when we get a collision. You know, when we collect it. No, I'm gonna have to try and relate it to this. It's actually trickier than it seems because you've got to iterate through all 5. Find out how many are 1s already and compare it to that if you want to do it every frame. I mean, like I said, I could easily just have add heart, and this way it would just find the first 0 and add a heart on. Probably start there, which means hearts collected isn't as relevant right now. It might even be that we add heart, and if it works and adds 1 each time, we'll wait until they're all 1, and then we don't even need hearts collected. We can just set that to true if all either 1. Put UI add heart. I'm gonna have that. So they always need IX to be the heart icons. And then we pretty much always do the same thing. So if we get to the end of the array, this time, oh, that needed a compare in there. Yeah. But this time we compare to 1. Because we don't want to add it if it's already added. This time we do need to jump to UI add heart, go next. That'll do. So if we get to here, then I'm just going to assume if it ain't 255 and it ain't 1, then it is 0. I think you can actually do that just directly with IX. And if not, I know how to sort it. And then we do want to return at that point, because we've just added 1 heart. So it looks, is it the end of the array? If yes, get out. It looks, is it alive? If yes, jump to the next, where it increments to the next heart and does the same. If no, wants to set it to alive, doesn't it? So UI add heart. That's a one-time function that we call when we want to add a heart only. Update, of course, gets called every frame, as does draw hearts automatically by that. So all we've got to do is call UI update. Let's just do it from the level. This should be sufficient. Not in init. Let's do it straight after clearing the game window. Why isn't it? Ah, because we've got to do call UI update. Does that need anything loaded? No, it doesn't. So now all we have to do is add a heart one time in the same place where I was trying to increment it before, which I believe was in the player here. So we set that to 0, and we know that works because we see the heart disappear on the screen. I'll comment that out because I reckon if this works, we'll just find a way of it not even using hearts collected. Instead, it's called add heart, and this should only happen once if my logic's right. Maybe this doesn't. I wasn't sure whether I could do that. So this here might be the crux. If not, if this now suddenly adds 5 hearts or whatever when we were expecting 1. But as far as I know, this is going to work for us straight away. Like, even though this is going to do something. Oh, okay. UI draw hearts is undefined. Needs an underscore. I bet Visual Studio is well nice for doing this actually if you get used to it, because refactoring or whatever it's called, refactoring is so good compared to what we do here. There's nothing in the UI just yet. Damn, still nothing so far. I can't move, so it's locked up. So something did happen, but we didn't get to see it. And it didn't crash. It must be an add heart. Ah, that's why. My same old mistake I do every single time. Yeah. Come on, Mikie. Well, we can get out. We can still do it now, but I'm still not seeing the heart. Oh, it's in the top left, look, near the exit side. And it was working correctly there. We got the first two correctly. That's because I don't set their position. I thought I did. Yeah, I did. Damn you. I think they're the wrong way round. They're backwards. Maybe. Can't even see it now, wherever it's gone. I have no clue where that's gone. Damn it. I might try that and switching these around. So now it's the Y in the front. Error 46. Huh. Okay, I get it. I guess that wasn't a good idea then. I really had hopes for that one. Don't think this will fix anything. Can't even see it. Okay. In that case, how do I actually want? Do I really want Y first? No, I don't. So I'm going to try and go all the way back. Alright, so that's how I originally thought it was going to work. And we did see the hearts. Let's see what happens. It's not there again. Oh, there you go. The second one appeared. That could just be the order that I've called the order that I've called them in, making it not appear that well. I wonder what happens if you put 100 there then. It moved it over like a tiny bit. And then of course you don't get any there because the exit sign gets in the way and gets drawn over the top. Flipping out, it's doing that weird thing again. But I couldn't quite figure out why it's moving in that direction. It's that stupid draw sprite function using DE and all this. So it makes sense. Wonder if I need to push and pop one of the registers. IX. This doesn't actually use IX though, so I thought it was then, but I thought I was moving IX when I shouldn't have. So. Nah, because that would just cause, well, I wouldn't, I don't know actually. Why would 100 only move it over a little bit? It's not going to like 500 surely. Same place, it's gone down a bit though. What the hell? I hate these Y's and X's on the spectrum, man. What the hell? Oh god, after I sort this one out, I think it's time for some gaming. Less brain power. Let me just try hard coding it. Hang on. I think I've just nailed the reason. Do they appear? They appear right over there. Yes. What I'm doing wrong is the UI hasn't got any buffer. It's just a colour. memory at the moment that we've done. And when I'm calling my draw sprites routine here, it's going into the game window only, look. So I actually need to create a UI window. Or just draw it on my UI for now, which we're doing. But I need to draw it somewhere where it's not gonna, on my UI, on my game window. I need to draw it somewhere where it's not gonna run into any other sprites. So maybe just to the right of that exit sign. So where's the exit sign position? Five X, and then it's 4 wide. So I think I can get away with starting my heart at 9. Nine zero. So now it should be just in the middle there, and it should be able to count up to 5. There's 1. Ah, see that? The second time it just seemed to count all the way up. At least we got some sort of visual feedback that time. So I haven't changed anything, I'm just loading it again. So we get 1. What happens if I sit back down here? Nothing. What happens if I then go to this one instead? Probably get all 5 now. No. It's only that 1. 3. So that was the only reason. It was that seats buggy for some reason. 4. 5. We've disabled being able to get out of the level. So, somehow. I thought it was still there, but isn't that weird? That just one table there is ruining it. If I go back into the game once again, and I just walk straight up to that table. There we go. That is table 4 in the array. This little cookie. What's his problem, eh? Is it because we've got 99 here afterwards? I can't see why. It's like a cheat. Of course, that's why it's not letting us out of the level. We haven't set how many. And that kind of proves that my code was working before, other than this same issue. I'm not bothered about the UI at all because I can very easily just make another window and just draw to it very rarely. Like when we change amount of hearts or something, we'll just change that game window. But that will be a nasty bit of writing because we'll have to write another one of these that's a different size. Well, we'll do draw UI window, but this is huge. Look, Probably do that just alone. I don't think anyone wants to watch me copy paste all that. But back to the interesting stuff. Why is this desk triggering 5 of them when the others aren't? So here's where we collect the heart. Why would it get stuck on that one desk? And it's not even like it's the last desk. It goes on to the other desks as well. Funny. Funny but tragic. Well, it's that time again. I mean, I don't want to delete that because that did work. In fact, I'll put it back. It'd be nice to link them, but there's not really any need to. That's what this whole routine's doing, really. It kills the on-screen heart, it adds a heart in the UI, and then it increments the hearts collected. It's fine. And that way our code should now let us out of the level when we do get to 5. Border should have been going pink as well. I also can't understand why that stays on flash even when this isn't, but we'll deal with that totally at another time. Because I set it to the normal colour here, and then it should wait until after you've got the amount of hearts, and then start flashing. Somewhere it must be getting set to that constantly. Let's have a quick search for that. Oops. Wish you could search the entire solution, but you can't. So no, it doesn't. So God knows what's happening to that. But let's close. Let's just close all and open it up when we need it. What? So I play the game again. Does it go pink at the right time at least? Because if I didn't go to that desk, the whole game would work perfect by now. I can't understand why that door's flashing. The sign. And it doesn't go pink anymore either. It's bloody strange. So it probably won't let me out. No, but I'm not that concerned about that. I think we can sort that out. Obviously, this is not working now for some reason. Current heart seat. I remember writing this thinking it wasn't going to work, and it was like a weird attempt at fixing it, and then it just worked. So if we're sitting when we collide, get the heart ID, the stall ID in the desk, put it into the current heart seat, then we put into I wider hearts, check it. That's what's weird, it should just set it straight away to 0 and then never add another heart. Most odd. Does current heart seat ever become 0? Well, it's initialized to 0 for a start, so let's just initialize it to 69 because I've got 99 in something else, I think. I don't think this will fix it, but it's always worth a try, these little things. Nah. I wonder why it stops at 5. Oh, of course, I've only got 5 hearts in data. Otherwise, it'll probably just keep going on. Only on that one desk. What the hell, you know? It's not that desk. That's Mikey's desk. We could put 2, 5, 4 for that. It really makes no odds. Just sitting down at that one desk. What's so special about that desk? What's so special about the number 4? Just wonder. Interesting though, how we have one less heart than we do desks, and that just somehow seems to be what's messing it up. Of course, we probably want to increment. I've got a plan. What did I just change? 8.8. Let's test that. I don't think it's going to fix it, and hope I remember that plan because I think it will fix it. Oh, it's fixed it. So for some reason it doesn't like the number 4 as the ID. And it's gone pink. So we're mint now. And we've left level 1. And the crowd goes, what? I tell you, that's pretty big. I don't know how. Sometimes I think it's never going to work. What I'm thinking is what my other plan was. Zero's fine on that, I think. But it was incrementing when we check. And of course, at the very end, it's going to break. If you think about it. Where is it? It's further down here. It's going to break at the very end of the array. He didn't wake up in 6 hours. I love it. How you doing, Mike? Did you I hope you didn't miss anything too important. Yeah, look, here's where it's going to break. I'm not sure if it will actually, and it works right now. Hang on. Oh, that's bad news, Mike. Gotta do your shit. This is working. Let me just change it back to 4 and just watch it break again. That's so weird. Thanks, Mike. I keep thinking at the moment, I know that people are loving it, but I keep thinking to myself, this is about to fail any second, but we end up getting through it. And it does look pretty mint right now. Even if I do say so. Ah, it's broke again. Yeah, so I cannot figure out for the life of me. And I hope one day someone like Yoda watches this and tells me why the 4 there is breaking. But while it's broken, I want to try making Mikey's desk 5, sorry. No, so that was wrong. Right there. They were correct. I want to make this desk the last one. We can still keep the positions, of course. And just to see if it breaks now. It still breaks. So it's got nothing to do with that either. Okay. In that case, I might as well just put it back. Change that to an 8. I mean, what about 5? Or just 6? Sorry. Just test it. It just doesn't like 4. I cannot imagine why. I reckon this might work. Yep, perfect. Already I actually quite enjoy going around collecting. It's just quite fun already. Got a bit of playability to it. And there we go, we've collided. That door shouldn't be flashing until now. I'll sort that out and I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's big progress. Okay, so no more fiddling with that. If I had foreseen that problem with the UI, I would have pre-made the second buffer. But I remember thinking about that and then just forgot all about it. So we'll live with the UI just in the center of the screen there at the moment. I want to sort out that sign. Right from the word go, it's flashing. But my code, which works otherwise, says, oh, where is it? There. It says, set the sign color to the non-flash variety. Here, then if all hearts are collected, if they're not collected, return. We see the border go pink at the precise moment we want it to, so we know that that's working, you know? But then it's still flashing. That curse number 4, yeah, I can't even believe I found that, to be honest. I'm seriously baffled how I even found that problem and solved it just by changing it to another number. It makes no sense to me. But mustn't dwell on it, because I don't think I'll ever know the answer to that one. Oh god, I'm back in here now. And I've already forgotten what I'm doing. Oh yeah, the flash thing. I just want to check. Have I not? They are different, aren't they? They've both got a flash on, that's why. They should have changed dullness though. Can you use flash with brightness? Well hey, go get them hearts, Mikie. Come on boy. Do a little bum shuffle just for fun. Ah, oh, it's not flashing though. I was expecting it to flash. I'll just try changing them both to 0 for the brightness one. And if this doesn't work, I really can't fathom why not. I mean, I'm not going to rest until I do figure this one out. Okay, so it's not bright anymore. It's not flashing. What a bum. Is that because I'm not drawing the background colours? I think I need to redraw the background colours for that to happen. But then again, I think I just draw the sign colours separately. Don't quote you on what, Moz. I didn't catch. That doesn't make sense to me in the chat. I think it's missed some messages. Cursed number 4. Oh well. I fail to see why it doesn't work. It's basically just to test that, but if it works, I'll probably leave it there. Go on. Gonna have to draw a teacher soon. I can't get around it much longer. Yeah, it's not flashing still. That's mind-boggling. I didn't think I'd need to do that. The only reason I'd need to do that is if this wasn't getting called for whatever reason. But it is. Flash and bright together. I did try that earlier. But now I've removed it. So there's the one with the flash on, and there's the one without. Yeah, there definitely are some random dots there. Sometimes it misses a line out. It's something to do with the line drawing code, I think. Like a line is sometimes missing from the sprite, and then it's probably getting partly drawn somewhere else as well, near him. But I can live with that personally. Until, obviously, if I get to the point where I can just bash together a game, then I'll, quickly, then I'll focus on stuff like that. Because it could just be some weird glitch that I've made, and then the next time I write a game from scratch, it might not happen that way. But this is really, this is one of them things I'm spending too much time on, but it's really aggravating it doesn't work, isn't it? I'm just trying to set that thing there to either of those, and then and then use that to put into there to call a paint sign function. Which, does it use IY? Doesn't seem to. That's why. A bit of value inside that, won't it? I think. Got there in the end. You just got to go logically through it. I fail to do that a lot of the time and cause myself lots more problems. I think when I'm not live, I'm not quite as bad at that. But that's what you needed to do, is just follow all the steps logically. As long as you can do what I just did as a legal statement. No, you can't. Okay. That'll be the next thing they need to add to this VS Code, is being able to jump to that line. Just try that, but it probably won't work. Oh, maybe it will actually. Yes. Get in. I'll put the brightness back on. Maybe just when it lights up in there. Boom. I love it when you get to that stage in making a game where your game's a bit too long to just debug by turning it on for 2 seconds. Because you know you're getting somewhere then. Yes, I love that. Obviously that border flickering we'll get rid of because we'll just have one colour for the border. Speaking out loud, it definitely does help actually. It's called rubber ducking, isn't it? It's a known phenomenon, or whatever you call it. But it definitely is helpful. It's the same with writing on Stack Exchange. You know when you write on a question on Stack Exchange, you've got to make sure it's really well worded, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. You've got to word it nice and explain exactly what you've already done and what relevant information you've got. And by the time I've finished writing a question, I've normally answered my own question. Taking notes yet? Been trying to make me a teacher. Oh, sick. I wondered what you meant by teacher then. But I know what you mean now, the sprite. Awesome. I mean, we might be able to just modify Mikie. Just give him a bald head. I've actually spliced your sprites up into, segmented out uh, frames. But yeah, if you do have enough time, your drawings are way better. Yeah. So I'd love that because I can just drop it in and focus purely on the code. We've hit an impasse, haven't we? What else are we lacking other than other sprites? We need people who sit down. They just disappear when they nudge off the seat, I think. Well, no, they actually move to another seat in the real game. It's empty. We'll make them disappear, but I will be able to change it so that they move to an empty seat as well. Oh, bugger. I got loads of data left over to use for the month, so I was watching it on my phone to boost the viewer count, but the battery's gone. Damn. Yeah, what shall I add here then? I mean, maybe it's time for level 2. We've already got the makings of a level 2. But I need to work on the initialization bit where it changes and removes all the desks, Mikie, and everything else. So I think that's what we'll have to do. Yeah. Sprite tool. Thanks for the comment there. Let's have a look at it. Use a sprite tool for the Z. Yes. I use this tool here. Oh, I've just dragged the menu bar off it. That's not a good idea. Oops, wrong one. I use this tool here called ZX Paintbrush by Klaus Yarn, and at first it feels horrible. I really disliked it to start with. Gotta have some dancing girls soon, man. We need them. Maybe make that level next. Yeah, so it's a good app. At first I absolutely hated it, but I'm learning to love it. It behaves more like an old art program did, like in the old days. Some of the hotkeys and the way it snaps and stuff. So it's not like GIMP. It takes some getting used to, but if you're used to GIMP, it's nothing like GIMP to use. But that's an excellent one for the Spectrum because it makes sure you only get 2 colours into a cell. It does look overwhelming, but the main tools you need are on the left side to draw the pixels, and then you just remember to make sure you've got the right ink and paper colour for every cell. That's where it gets awkward. I've heard of that AS sprite thing, AE sprite or whatever it was called. But is that good for ZX? Does that have like a 2 colour mode in it? I didn't even know that because I've found a cracked version of that. I have seen you can get it for free, and it does work. But I just uninstalled it because I didn't use it. At the time, I found GIMP amazing, but I didn't ever think about this 2 colour cell thing. GIMP must have a plugin. It must have. It's such a good app. I've never used a plugin on GIMP though, that's the thing. I'm really happy with it out of the box. Adding the teacher is going to be much the same as adding the player, except for instead of having movement code relying on the key press, it will rely on a script that we write. So that's where, I can either he could be brutal and he could just walk towards you at all times. Yeah, AE Sprite felt well like old school, definitely. Yeah, I did like it, but I just got used to GIMP. When you find out how to draw pixel by pixel on GIMP properly, it's pretty powerful. But you can't do it doesn't consider character cells as far as I know at all. Yeah, I mean, I just dabbled with ZX Paintbrush just the other day for the first time, where I actually got serious. When I made that background, it was for the classroom, and within 10 minutes or 20, I was fully versed in how it worked. I mean, I've forgotten a load of it now, but I could find how to snap to the grid and change the colour of a cell and stuff like that. I did find it without looking it up on Google. If I used that every day for like 2 weeks, I'd probably be able to make some amazing looking sprites with the Spectrum. When I say amazing looking, I'd know how to do all the colours first time and stuff. I'd still be crap at drawing. Well, there's only a few options here to go forwards. One would be make a jazzy main menu. I think that's boring. The main one I think is a good idea is going on to level 2. So I'll load level 1 as well because it's much of the same. We'll want an init and a hearts array and a total hearts. See, the level 2 in Mikie, you don't have, well, you might have the odd desk. I think you've got benches instead of desks just dotted about. But then you also have these lockers that have 3 hearts. You've got to shout at them 3 times. It's bloody awkward to control it. I don't really want to recreate that. I think it's the most annoying bit of the game. But I want to try and keep it kind of faithful, so I think I'll have the sort of same shout mechanism. I'm just going to have it, if you're facing up towards the locker, it's going to get a heart out of it. There's 3 hearts per locker, and there's actually a lot of lockers. So this time we want a lot more hearts, which is a bit of a pain. And if you look, there's no way out of jump, out of update. It becomes our main loop. I might try and convert that to return, because I've got an update loop right at the beginning here that calls the correct update. So really, I bet it cocks it up. I'm going to go to GitHub so I can always come back if I get myself really mixed up. Because I think I need to change a couple of jumps to returns. Either that or just delete this crap because it's not needed. Oh, it jumps to them. Alright, I'll leave it as is. And just remember when we're changing level we jump. Because I'd have to change all them to calls and go into each one and change the jumps to returns. That's why that check keys is pretty pointless there. Because it only works once and then it gets stuck in one of these loops. So I actually just need check keys in each one of them loops now instead, yeah. If I got it in player or something instead. Still works anyway. Alrighty then. So when we got enough, yeah, we just go in and knit. I know it's over there. Firstly, I want to get rid of that border, setting the border colour. Now I know it works. So just set it once. Just makes it seem less buggy game. Yeah, it's much better. I just read them messages. That's the one thing I love about GIMP is doing the animations, because you do a layer for each one and then you just move it a little bit. But I'm very lazy as an artist. I probably am as a coder as well, if you noticed. Always take the easiest option that I can think of. Oh, getting brain lock again, come on. Oh, I was asking about trying to sweeten up how the loop works, because I think it is a bit wrong. But it works, so let's not worry about it. I'll go to level 2. I'm just going to copy all of level 1 into it. Which is a bit stupid, but let's just comment that out for now, because it might come in handy as a template. Also, anything with L1 needs to be an L2 now. Another thing I just realised, I've set its default state here to sitting, but that should probably also come from the level. He sits down to start with in the class one. So in a knit, where's player? Yeah, player state. Let's put him as attack, just because then I'll know straight away that if he's sitting it's working. Oh god. There you go. We did adventure games with spaceships. Is that just what you were good at drawing, was it? Oh, without animations. That's why I made the spaceship game to start with, because I couldn't even figure out how to cycle through frames when I first started in C#. I could figure out getting velocities and stuff, because there was a sort of rudimental physics engine built into this thing I was using. Alright, so we're in the level 1 in knit. Let's just see if that works. Oh no. That's why. Excellent. He's sitting down. Perfect. Perfect. So in level 2, he starts. I forget where the game window, where his like minimum Y is. That's where he starts at minimum Y. Sure, there's a minimum Y somewhere. Game value, I expect. $45. So he starts at min Y. I think it's like 15 the door. Eventually we might as well make door 1 and door 2 as constants. Can't draw people. I think that's the beauty of the spectrum though. You've got like, we're dealing with 16 width and 24 height. So you don't get that much leeway. I mean, I think Moz has done well there with Mikie. He looks pretty goddamn good from certain, when he lines up just right and there's no glitching. I think I will be able to go into that sprite and change all his hair to just look a bit spiky before we release the game. But yeah, another good way of doing animations is drawing it with layers. You draw the head and the body, and then you draw the arms all on different layers. Each arm is a different layer, each leg. And then you can layer it so that you can actually not see through, you know, and you can actually easily make animation just by moving the pieces. And then you take a shot, obviously, of each one. I've done that in Unity, for a Unity game, with some quite complex looking animation, just with basic limbs. I made it so they didn't even have knees or anything, you know, these characters. They were just straight pin legs. Level 2, level 2. Breaking down the complexity of many sprites. Okay. Do you mean in a sprite sheet? For like a different kind of language? Or I think with these, it's quite straightforward because a sprite, you've just got all these bytes, haven't you? And it's either 1 or 0 for if it's a pixel or not. Moving them as a group. Think about offsets all the time. Just offset everything by the amount you want to move it by. And then you can increment through each one byte. Just think about how many bytes there are, if you have to, or if you've got a value already for that, use it. But I haven't got a clue how the Commodore 6. I've been saying to people on here viewing, I'm looking forward to learning Commodore 64, but I haven't got a clue how to use that sort of sprite hardware, as they call it. Like, how do you access that through the processor? I don't know. Is there like actual inbuilt routines that you just call and then it scrolls, for example? Can't wait to find out actually, but that's many months away, I think. Nothing inbuilt. Okay. Yeah, I'll certainly try it soon. Basically, as soon as I finish this project, I'll do a Hello World and a few other things on the C64. And then if I really fall in love with it, I'll probably do a game in that. But it would be lovely to do another game straight after this, an improved version using lots of the same functions. You know, make a completely different game. So level 2 is fine. I could always make some different attributes for each level as well and just load each one there, but for now we'll just keep it the same. The exit sign is actually in the same place this time as well. Sometimes it's over the other side. Brilliant. It's looking good already. Do you know what? Let's try that. It might just make us an empty desk, an empty room. And we should be in the right hand door. We should actually be facing down as well. That's another thing we need. Wait there. Didn't I set it? I did it there. But not in level 2. That's exactly what I was talking about the other day, where this way I've done it is quite nice, it's quite simple, but when you want to change something, you've got to remember to go through each one and change it. This time it's not the player state, it's the direction. That just enables us to face down. We're going to get away with not doing that on level 1, because it just automatically faces up. Oh. I forgot to do that. So that'll just be standard. So it should just appear us in an empty room if it ever compiles. Line 3 of level 2, invalid definition or previously found. Oh, of course. Don't expect me to actually read what I'm pasting in. Don't be silly. That's what Pasmo's for. Alright, come on, Mikey. From now on, I guess I could just change level 1 to already having enough hearts for debugging. But it didn't take that long. Okay, it hasn't worked. We had this problem before. I think it was I forgot to return. No. This was that rubbish I was talking about where in here, when I wrote, let's put that there, that's like the first file. When I wrote this, I was intending that it was going to go through each one. And this would remain as the main loop. But it really doesn't. It kind of jumps. So I may need to jump to level 2 init maybe. I'll begin level 2, that's what we're doing. And we're calling that. See, that's the problem, I think. That then jumps into main, so it should still work really, shouldn't it? Calls init. Oh, that's going to be wrong, I think. What's that about here? Oh, of course, yeah. So it sets the game state, which means that it should call that. We're going to need that for a start. That's why, yeah. Of course. Oops. So it's like I said, we need desks data to have other. We need to name it like level 1 desk data, level 2. But as it happens, there's not many desks in level 2 unless we want it. You know, we don't have to stick to the game rigidly. But I may as well use a different sprite. Like we'll make a bench. I could draw that now in a minute. Let's just transition into level 2 correctly first. Excuse me. And that was another thing I mentioned earlier that's going to get annoying, isn't it? Having more than one of these. Is it better to have... There's only like 11 levels, I think, if you include all the hallways and everything. So it's not that bad to have 11 in my opinion. But I could just have check level victory and then in here check what level we're in. But then the processor just has to do more. And it's a load of pain in the ass, big formula, you know. Jump to here if it's this, jump to here, you know, it's another one of them. So I actually think I will just copy paste it, close it down, although you always have to put a little thing like that if you're going to do that. Just do that. It's so much easier, isn't it? It's going to check for level 2 total hearts. And jobs are good. Un. Simple. Unless I've missed some level 1 weird thing. That looks all good to me. Oh dear. I don't think it's meant to be just L2 hearts. Actually, yes it is. And it's just up here, isn't it? What's wrong with that? Must be not included. Yes it is. Okay, it was just a capitalization. I've never seen that be a problem before. I'll watch that. I didn't realise. Right, so it should work this time. Oh, here we go. I don't know why they're on the floor there like that. Oh, that's where the desks were, of course. The collision boxes are still there as well. Not sure why. It's obviously in player update. Oh, that's going to get messy. Player update. So what's happening here is we've got level 1 specific code in here somewhere. It's bound to be one of these. Well, we know it's one of them. Them hearts, why were they being drawn? I forget. Was that them? Yeah, I think it is. So I thought I was drawing the heart icons. It's a weird one, that. The way the game is, if we're going to copy the game, it's completely different. The hearts are inside a locker sprite. Just get rid of that. And pretty much get rid of them, although I have to think about that. Reason being is this is how our code is, just a copy and paste. That's how it's working. But for level 2, really, we have to make an array of lockers and make a new data type. And lockers would have a value of how many hearts they contain. So there'd be a lot more total hearts. There's something like, on our scaled down version, I'm going to say there's 6 lockers. There's going to be a group of 2 either side, and then one on its own at a different height either side. And then there'll be some benches in the way. But the lockers are what we want to worry about right now. It's not a mammoth task, but it's not small. I'm just going to get rid of L2 hearts. Although it kind of pains me because no, it doesn't pain me at all, because the whole collision, the only reason we messed around in here was that way we had to sit down and make sure it only got the heart then. This is completely different now. We'll be walking up to lockers, pressing attack. So in this level you can't even sit down. So attack could just be shout. We don't even need a different one for shout. We could just only let them shout. We could remove the bum shuffle because that's not needed. So we are changing the game up a bit. There's no way around it. I just got to get into it. I'll put L2 lockers because there might be other ones with lockers. We're going to deviate a long way from the original game. Firstly, we've missed out the hallway completely, and I don't want to do that. But still going to call this level 2. I mean, they're always alive. Do I need that? I think I do. Because I need to do 255 for the end. But I could be super clever if I really wanted it, and just have the first one being the number of hearts remaining in the locker, which is 3. And then obviously the X and Y, I have no clue at the moment. So I'll just roughly start where that one started. We will need the width and the height. And they're going to be 2 width in bytes. And probably the same size as a player, I reckon. Yeah, let's do 24 height. And let's just do 2 of them for now. right next to each other. I've got to draw the bugger now. Behold, I have 0 art skills, especially when live. Let's behold them. The skills come in knowing what to write in here, you know, knowing how to do, thinking ahead, and getting it right first time. That's what's hard. As far as I'm concerned, when I make graphics, they are completely placeholders, and they're intended to be removed and deleted from existence at the earliest convenience. Right, so that's kind of like a locker. Oops. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do layers, but I'd love to do a layer so I could draw the hearts now as well. Maybe we'll just change up the game and make it a bit easier on ourselves and put 4 per locker. I'm going to delete this in a minute, but just see what this looks like. Looks fine, doesn't it? That looks okay. Yeah, like that. That looks nice. I'm not sure how we can get away with colours. These could be a different colour at the top. And then these. I'll just have a little play around with it for a sec. That's not too bad for a locker, is it? I wonder if black would look better. I like that, except for we've got a red floor, haven't we? So that's not going to be any good. Are you lot in Discord or saying? I keep missing half the chats, I think. I'm only seeing Microman's chats. If you're asking me if I'm doing the dancing girls, I wouldn't be very good. I think we'll make them one bit taller, so there's more space. I don't know. Maybe they can fit into this space. But that looks actually pretty cool for a locker, doesn't it? It's quite an 80s look vibe to that. Cyan and pink. Yeah, it's missing, isn't it? Oh well. No biggie. What I need to do is make it without this heart and then keep that heart, but with... God, it's a right pain, isn't it? I kind of have to treat each segment differently so that I can remove the heart from it. Nice. It's weird, Michael. I can only see your chats, but there's 5 viewers. Ah, Coda Mick. Hi, man. No problem, man. No problem. You didn't miss a great deal, but we made gradual progress, like a steam engine. We chugged through it. Right now, I'm just trying to think ahead. How the best way. I want 4 of them hearts. Clash of Streams. I mean, completely understandable, man. Completely. I mean, I'm even sad that I miss some of my favourite people who stream, but I'm too busy doing my own one now. It does look nice, doesn't it? I'm just trying to think though, Moz. Like, if I want to remove that heart, because there's going to be 4 of them, do I really have to have 4 different sprites? Or 5 essentially? One for an empty one as well? Hmm. I guess I'll draw the full one. And just while I'm doing that, I'll think about how I'm going to deal with emptying it. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty mint. Strange how it hits the top on that one. Oh, I can see why, yeah. Alright, now just how it's best to remove them without having loads of data there unnecessarily. If I didn't have that there, I could now just find out whatever value 100, I think that's 128. So that byte would just become the value 128. In fact, you can see my calculator. 127, because why is it doing it as a minus? Look, 80 hex. We've sorted it out. Did you watch it when I ran out of space? At first, I was only worried about the processing power, and I quickly did run out of space. But what I did to overcome that was actually, I think, quite decent. Oh, why is that? Okay. Well, what happened was we were doing the whole tiled background thing for every level. As soon as we even tried to add a second level, we ran out of memory, and the only options I could think of was either to load the second level off the tape halfway through, and I didn't have a clue how to do that, or to reduce the size, which we managed to do by just all we paint now, or all we draw, sorry, is just the top left corner. Same with the top right, and then a little sliver down each side. The rest of it's all blank. Yeah, you'll be able to catch up. So it's quite interesting, but we took quite a couple of hours to get there. So you might have to shift you through it a bit. Some of it's a bit of a trial error, but we got this in the end anyway. Right now, I'm just press one. I'm just trying to think. If I wanted to make that blank, I just need to make that 127, and the same that just needs to be 1. So I think I can come up with some snazzy way of doing that in code, but I hope that I can. I also don't really care about the attribute bits, but I'm going to export them anyway just to get these colours without having to fiddle around. So line based 2, attributes 1, and I want all the attributes afterwards. Yeah, perfect. Might as well make another file in sprites. Locker.asm. Locker sprite. So we'll worry about the attributes later. Pop them up the top so I don't forget about them. Right. So we have a locker sprite. These two are never going to change. Bugger. I might even get rid of that line, although that's just 255. Maybe I can manage to cope with it. We basically want to change the 7 lines starting at number 1, not 0. But then unfortunately on this one we want to change the first 7. And each side obviously is different. I mean, I could make life easy on myself actually. I'll just put empty locker byte. Empty locker byte RU upper right UR. That'll do. And then I can just do that, innit? And then do upper left. Oh, of course, there does the same. I've just got to remember where I want to start from, depending on whether I'm upper or lower. But that's something separate. See, I kind of think this desk data here should have been done in level 1, and it should have just had an L1 in front of it. And I'm not going to change that right now, but for lockers, I am going to put it in the level. Which I've already started to do. And we've got the number of hearts, so they should be 4. Oh god, I just realised Look what I'm doing. That's actually scared me. I'll do 5. And I'll just check if they won. One's now dead. It means one's now run out. You know, run out. Just have 2 lockers. Much the same as this, isn't it? It's a different size. Just trying to think. Do I want my own purpose-built code, especially for lockers as well? It's getting complex now. Why is drawer desks not in here? Oh, okay, it's up at even higher level. You know what, that's okay. I'm quite happy with that. Drawer lockers. Perfect. Not perfect. Gotta be brave. I mean, because really, we're being brave here with this game because, like, we could have just made some game by now with the amount of effort we put in. I think where it was like a shooter and just random enemies spawning. We could have easily come up with some. It wouldn't have to be random. We could come up with some sort of timed schedule of items appearing. And then it would have just been a case of drawing some different enemies to make them look different, but the same code over and over again, but because they could have all been pretty much the same size as sprites. Almost all our sprites are different sizes. There's a lot going on in this game that you don't think about at the start. Do you know what? I'm actually quite happy that the progress we made in level 1, even if I end up having to abandon here. I'm not saying I would, but it'd be great adding the teacher to level 1. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, was it? I'm expecting to just do it all instantly. This just takes time and thought, making sure you don't F up. I mean, we might have the right size sprite already. Let's try it. There it is. But the thing is, does this override all other things? Like somewhere. Well, I could just do it straight after. Actually, I can just check if a heart's been removed, and then straight after here, just turn some of them bytes into what I need it to be. Or I might have to write a tailor-made one of them. I'll get into the habit of writing that here. And not there. L2. Not, hopefully not. I mean, I've got got to get over my fear of force sometime. I was trying to remember in that Red Dwarf, he has trouble with the number 4s, but I think it's the number 7s. I can't remember. I'm getting the Mandela effect on it now because of this. It's number 4 now. Right, where was I? Spiky, I think. For some reason, that last problem we just had with the do you remember when we were collecting too many hearts on one of the seats? And it was genuinely fixed by just changing the ID from 4 to any other number. So we're just having a joke about that because I really cannot see why. I don't think it's worth spending time worrying about it too much. L2 lockers data length, draw lockers. Okay, so they'll be the wrong colour, but they should be there. As a little cheat, hearts collected. See, that needs to be set back to 0 when we start a new level if we're going to use it like that. That should be adequate for that. Now we can still use hearts collected. I'm sure it's just coming in to do something else. It's constantly like that now at this stage with so many different things to do. Oopsie. I said, oh, I'm just about to go and sort blah 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 out. That's the wrong name, but I couldn't care less at the moment. I know that seems unnecessary, but let's say we have a game over and we want to restart into level 1. I put that there so that we don't have to do it later. So when we go into level 2, Not sure why that's there. I'm sure there was something I was going to go and just fix, and I had the exact fix in my head to do it, but I can't remember what it was. Have I included locker? I don't think so. Nope. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Firstly, I'm moving my windows around because I had it all cropped up. Sorry about that. That's from where I was doing the art program. And now I've forgotten again. Oh yeah, I want to default to having enough hearts. So let's just load A with 5 there to do X or A. So it should just be flashing as soon as we get in. It is. It's not pink. Oh no, I got rid of that. No. And there they are. Still got a collision from the desks for some reason. And that's just coinciding with that by fluke. Oh, I remember now. We did notice it. It calls that, and we need one for each level. Or we need to check what level we're in here. Because that collision check, it needs to point at something else. So that it's pointing at the lockers, for example. And then it probably needs to be tailor written as well, because I bet it checks the width through the IX register actually. So it's only the offsets that are hard coded. What a shame. Well, I guess we'll just be copy and pasting that and changing the offsets. Unfortunately, it's the way I do it. It seems to work, you know, it's the easiest way actually. That still hasn't answered the problem of how I want to do the update. When it calls player update, it'd be very tempting just to have level 2 like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just solve one problem at a time. Just hacking away at it. It's not a very big method anyway. Level 2, you know it, man. We're there. we'll probably still use that for the time being. I could combine that and just have that happen at the start of the desk checking. Funny how we don't actually check desk collision there. Oh, it was just called check collision. Where is it then? No. Oh, it's in the try move function, of course. And that's okay. But the problem with that is it's called check collisions. But really, that is check collisions level 1 desk. Do you know what I mean? And the problem we've got here is we've got check collisions here, so rename is going to be a problem. Rename that one. That'll be a start. And then I'm just going to have to go through each one manually. Ah, hang on. This needs to know what level we're on as well now. I could have come up with a way of using stored values instead in the pointer for the offset. But it's a bit of a pain in the rear. But if I was to do that, obviously I could just point it at the lockers instead of the desks, as long as everything was stored in there, so I wouldn't have to use any of them constants. But it would mean changing the amount of bytes in the length, and it would mean more work for the processor every loop. It's annoying. If we continue on this way, we've got to do the same thing for the try moves. I'm just going to do it. Whew, this is horrible, but you know, it's either that or I change that array. This just seems easier to me right now. Whoops. Yeah, alright. My goodness me. We've got a lot of work ahead here. Once I sort this collision out on the lockers, that'll be the end of the vid, I think. Probably be over 3 hours by then though. I've got a full day off tomorrow, I think, as well, so I'm going to do a lot more again tomorrow. First thing we've got to copy is that. It's real tricky, this. And in fact, I'll start, because I'm probably going to separate this, but I'm going to start, I'm going to go right down to the bottom. Because there's a lot of repeat here. A lot. But if you actually think about it, it is the best, because the processor just has to go to 1 and it doesn't have to check inside the loops what level we're in. There is 11 levels though. It's going to be a huge code file by the end of this when we actually finish. Anyway, let's leave all the offsets and everything else the same for now. Just make sure, of course, it's got a point. It's not a desk. It's a locker. I don't think that's even needed. That ain't. Oh, is it? Oh, interesting. It looks like I was part way through trying to make it work without, you know, I could just point it or whatever. No problems, micro. Yeah, it's going to be alright just pointing just at the lockers there and calling that. We've got to change the name of this. That'll do for now. Yeah. That's worried me because there's a colon there. It shouldn't be. It might be on the other one. It is. Right, so obviously the offsets are going to be probably going to be wrong. But if I now make the try move ones again, then I think we're starting to be okay. So I've got to copy all them. And the only thing I've got to change is one thing. Oh, there's a colon on all them wrong. I'm sure Pasma will pick it up and tell me. Oh, nice one. No way. That's brilliant. You always wonder why when you're on the phone to someone for tech support, they seem like they're not listening. They're probably watching something on Twitch. I mean, I'm gonna try and do a bit of magic here. Just change all the L1. Oh, bugger. Change all the L1 to L2. Desk. Oh, interesting. Okay, there's desk data there. Didn't notice. There's no such thing as lockers data. I think it should be L2 lockers. Yeah. Okay. It looks good to me. And then in the update one, was that in this file? Yeah. So reset collision check is actually still okay. That's just gonna reset us. Don't want to check any of that. Well, we do want to check the door. I'll just change that to lock L2 lockers. Check collision locker. Don't want anything to do with the stall anymore. Attack actually isn't needed right now. But I'll adapt that. Just causes. Oh, we've got to watch this as well. Yeah. I either need to do the same thing on them or come up with a check like I keep thinking, but just gonna do the same thing. Sod it. For now, I'll just do standard. That's all we need to do right now. Sod it. I'll put it right down here. So I can tidy it all up into different files, I think, into level 2 files and stuff. I hope I did just copy that and not paste, cut it. That's not even relevant on this one. Oh god, I didn't just delete it on number 2, did I? Oh, number one, I mean. I think I did. Time machine. That's funny. You know instantly what it's going to be about before. Thank goodness I realised that I'd done that before it was too late. I flipping hope that's alright. I don't think it is though, I think it's knackered. I just knackered it. I mean, worst case scenario, I've got it on GitHub, but I will lose all this progress I've just made. Maybe I'll go in a new direction when I'm fresh. But we're so close to having it compiling. I just needed to copy one or two more things. It's still got a stall in there. Maybe that is correct. So is there any more? I think there's one more thing. Oh, no, because that would only be if it attacked. So as long as we don't attack when we're on level 2, it should be okay. Let's give it a try. Right, so I've got my cheat on. Don't need to worry about hearts. Them desks are still colliding. Sort that out. Somewhere I'm calling desks and I've forgotten to change it. For a start, there's that. That won't actually make any difference though. I would have thought it was actually okay just glancing at this. I don't see where the desks are involved anymore. Definitely jump into locker. IX. Putting at lockers. There's only 2 lockers. They're in level 2. Something in there maybe. Can't see anything in there wrong. Don't see anything in there. Must be in here. Yes, that's why. I should have changed the other one to L1 so I didn't make that mistake. I swear the look of this, and that's stop colliding, and we're colliding with the lockers. Perfect. So, although we have had to copy and paste, and when you're tired, copy and pasting is a recipe for disaster because you end up getting lazy with it, and then especially if I start chatting or reading comments, I can mess it up, which I nearly did there. There's one heck of a lot of copy paste going on here. But what I'll have to do is, well, just work through it level by level, yeah. But I'll separate these. Like, I'll figure out what ones are level 2 specific, what ones are level 1, and I'll rename them so that they've all got L1 rather than just a plain old name. And then I'll move them. And then I've got a template of 2 levels I can just easily copy to make level 3 and 4 and 5. So I would say I'll paint the back of the locker now, but I'd probably be better off doing that when I'm fresh. But of course, we'll do that probably here. Yeah. In a way, that player update was kind of a mistake. I could have done that all from the level update method, and then every time I switch level, it would automatically, I wouldn't have to make copies of all these. But instead, they'd just all be in there in line. I think this is better. I'm going to leave it. It works. It's pretty pucker. Like I say, I think off air, either tonight if I've got loads of energy while I'm watching some TV, that's probably what I'm going to do. I'll do it while I watch the TV, but I can't do that while I stream, of course. But I'm just going to relabel all this so it's level 1, level 2, put it all into a separate file. We've already got levels here, but I might even make a separate folder and everything for each level. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out soon. Then it's just a case of making the hallways. Obviously we've got to just figure out this locker emptying business. That's not going to take me very long. I'll do that live. And then we're away, because once we've done the lockers and the existing way is sitting down, the only other way is they have some hearts scattered about on the floor sometimes. You just have to walk around and collect them. And then we're done. So, I don't know how long it'll take to complete this game, but I feel always like it's only a couple of days away, but it's probably going to take a few weeks. But especially bearing in mind that after tomorrow I'm back at full-time work, so it might not be till Monday that I get that much done. I can't wait. I'm kind of thinking I might just copy paste all this over the scene, so come back with like 10 levels, but I don't know. I think what I'll do, like I say, I'm just going to make it all digestible so I can easily copy and paste it on air. I'll upload this to GitHub because it does work pretty smoothly right now. As I say, some of these names are going to be a bit annoying. I need to like make a convention up and stick to it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. We're building up a bit of a community here. We're growing. There's more and more chats, more and more viewers. If I can get a really good game out, only going to grow further. So thank you for helping me out right from the start. You know, all of you, very much appreciated. I'll buy that microphone soon, and that's going to boost everything. I think a lot of people just hear the bad mic and turn off. Maybe I'm being paranoid. Thanks, Moz, my man. Always appreciate it. Yeah, I'll see you all next time. I'm gonna get sleep at a reasonable hour. Take it easy, guys. Be on tomorrow in the daytime. Yeah, more dog action tomorrow. It'll be in the garden in the daytime. See you next time. Yeah. Good night.